Welcome to Time Well Spent, a podcast from LaborSync, the only real-time, multilingual timesheet software your business will ever need. You are listening to The Deep Dive, and today we're tackling that really fine line manager's walk. Getting great results without becoming, well, a micromanager. We're digging into the recent LaborSync blog article on accountability without micromanagement.
Right. And this isn't just, management theory floating in the clouds. It's fundamental. It's all for the difference between a team that really flies and one that's just grinding along, barely surviving.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The blog article draws a really clear line, doesn't it? It's about control versus ownership.
Yeah.
Accountability, it says, is when the team takes real ownership. They own the results, the what's and the why. And that builds trust.
Exactly. Whereas micromanagement, well, that's all about controlling the how. Every little step. It's like when you hold someone accountable, you're basically saying, okay, I trust you to figure this out.
Yeah.
Micromanaging, that's more like, I'm not sure you can even tie your shoes right without me watching.
And it's not just about feelings or team morale, is it? There are actual numbers here. I saw this stat in the article. Teams with strong accountability cultures, they see something like 25% better project completion rates. That's pretty huge.
It is huge.
Yeah.
And you might ask, well, is that just the culture or better processes?
Yeah, exactly. How do we know?
Well, the point is the culture drives the process improvement. Micromanagement, you see, it leads directly to high talent turnover. People just leave. And that's incredibly expensive. Accountability, on the other hand, it actually breeds efficiency because people feel empowered, they solve problems themselves. They don't wait around for permission for every little thing.
Okay, so for managers listening, what's the first step? How do you actually do this? The article stresses starting with clear expectations, but not just the what. It really emphasizes starting with the why.
That's absolutely critical. You need to define the outcome, not prescribe every single step of the process. So instead of just saying, I need this report by Friday, you explain, look, the data in this report, it directly shapes our profitability strategy for next quarter. That changes everything.
It turns it from a task into something meaningful, a mission almost.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And related to that, you've got to change how you check in. Ditch the constant just checking up calls or messages. Move to regular scheduled check-ins. Focus on progress and roadblocks, not just hovering.
Yeah, I remember reading about that construction company example in the blog. They cut project delays by, 40%?
40%, yeah.
Just by switching from daily kind of random check-ins to structured weekly progress meetings, same accountability goal, totally different feel, and better results.
Exactly. And, since we're talking tools and process, let's touch on digital systems like time tracking. These systems can support accountability without feeling like, Big Brother.
Right. But how? Because they can easily feel like surveillance.
The key is transparency and framing. The system has to be positioned as a tool, something that helps everyone, removes obstacles, maybe helps with job costing, not as a weapon to police every single minute. You have to be crystal clear about what's tracked and, crucially, why it's being tracked. It has to serve a purpose beyond just watching people.
That makes sense. Transparency builds trust, which we said is foundational. Okay, what about when things go wrong? Mistakes happen. How do managers handle that without falling back into blame mode?
That's a big one. The focus has got to shift immediately away from blame and towards problem solving. Curiosity, not accusation. So instead of jumping in with, why is this late? Try something like, hey, looks like we're running into some challenges here. What obstacles are you facing? How can I help clear the path?
That changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it? It invites collaboration instead of defensiveness.
It does. Because the moment you lead with blame, people clam up. They start hiding bad news, and that's when things really go off the rails.
Which ties into those two big mistakes the blog article warns about, the ones that absolutely kill accountability. First, punishing honesty. If someone brings you bad news and you shoot the messenger, well, they won't do it again.
Never again. And second, taking back ownership. You set the goal, you say, I trust you, but the minute there's a hiccup, you jump in and take over the how. You basically teach your team, don't bother stepping up, because I'll just take it back anyway, undermines the whole thing.
So wrapping this up, what's the core takeaway here?
I think it boils down to this. If you empower people, give them clear goals, the right tools, and your trust, they will almost always surprise you and exceed expectations. If you try to control everything, you're basically encouraging them to just do the bare minimum to stay out of trouble. It's about unlocking potential versus just managing compliance.
Empowerment drives excellence. Control drives mediocrity. That's a powerful distinction. Okay, here's a final thought for everyone listening to chew on. If your accountability systems are genuinely working well, you shouldn't be putting out fires all the time. Your team should be the ones coming to you proactively saying, hey, we spotted this potential issue, and here's how we're thinking of solving it, before it even becomes a crisis. That's when you know it's working. This episode of Time Well Spent was brought to you by LaborSync. Track employee hours and job site locations in real time from any device. Start your risk-free trial today at laborsync.com.